Irish hills of southeastern Michigan are seemingly the perfect place for a scenic Sunday cruise. Between the rolling hills and Kettle Lakes, the dawn of summer creates a certain peacefulness that was tailor-made for the top back. It was 50 years ago, driving here changed for good though. A 2-mile speedway arose, and cruising became racing. Over the years, we've seen the track grow and speed soar. Unlike the hills it lies within, you won't see signs limiting just how fast you can go. And 200 miles per hour is now commonplace. However, the one thing that hasn't changed is the pride. What this track, these hills, and this state means to the people that call it home. To win here, to make the home state proud, would mean the world to this one-time local. And today, he gets another chance. This is home. This is Michigan.
We thank Brad Keselowski for that. Eric Jones in this race, also from Michigan, and no Michigan-born driver has ever won this race. You heard the 50th anniversary. Cale Yarborough won the first ever Cup race back in 1969. David Pearson, the most wins. And Bill Elliott did win 4 straight Michigan races, something that Kyle Larson is hoping for today. But let's check in with Brad Keselowski. Drivers have been told by NASCAR to stay near their cars as some light rain is falling, some scattered showers. Brad is standing by with Regan Smith.
Well, we are standing out here. The rain light enough. We don't even need an umbrella right now. Brad, we just saw that piece, and we know that you're a Michigan driver. No Michigan driver has ever won here before. How much would it mean to you, and where would it rank in the list of the biggest wins for you to get a win here?
Yeah, I mean, it's we've been so close here with the Miller Lite Ford, and my teammate Joe Logano's won here twice, and I've been in position, and I feel like I've made a few mistakes, and then we had a few things not go our way, and vice versa. So it stings, Regan. You know, you want to win at your home track. But it's really hard to do. There's, a number of things that make it hard for us. And, this track hasn't always suited me perfectly. I liked it a lot before it got repaved, and it's been a lot more difficult since then. But, I think we've got a great car. We had a great car here last fall and sat on the pole, led a bunch of laps. And we got a great car here today, qualifying, of course, on the front row. So you got to put the whole race together, especially that late race restart. I think we've seen Kyle Larson win this race 2 or 3 times just on the late race restart. So putting it all together is easier said than done, and hopefully we can do it today.
When you come up here, you're obviously very busy. You have your foundation event and different things that you do during the race weeks here. How much added pressure does that put on you, and does that affect not being able to put it together? It definitely doesn't help. There's more distractions at your home race than anywhere else. I think every driver would tell you, but on the other side of that, it's more rewarding when you are successful. I've been fortunate enough to win here twice on the Xfinity side, and those were some of the biggest wins in my life in the Xfinity side. And I feel like if we were to win today, it's like the Daytona 500 for me. Family, friends, and a lot of our sponsors are in this area. Of course, Ford Motor Company's in this area, and we want to make them proud. Chris, he's going to have a great shot to do that today. He rolls off second when we get going in a little bit.
Yeah, thank you, Regan. From Rochester Hills, about 90 miles from this speedway. In the point standings, Keselowski does lead all drivers who have yet to win. We've only had 6 different drivers who've won this year. Denny Hamlin, another driver who has yet to get a victory so far this season, having to move to the rear of the field because of that splitter problem. As Harvick and Kyle Busch have dominated a combined 9 wins. We'll have more and talk to more drivers here in just a moment. Hang on. With Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers, we're live, NASCAR on Fox from Michigan International Speedway, and you see the drivers. The track has been dried, the rain has subsided, and as they get ready to hop in the car, we're getting ready to go racing. 400 miles, the first 2 stages to make this race official, should there be more threatening weather in the area. 3 cars will go to the rear, and Kyle Busch, who's been a dominant force, would have been starting in row 2 with Kevin Harvick. Denny Hamlin, a 2-time Michigan winner. Eric Jones, who's from Michigan, looking for his first Cup win. All suffered inspection violations because of a splitter issue. What's the impact of that on this race with Kurt Busch sitting on the pole?
I think it's just a sense of urgency that these teams are going to have. I mean, the race could be shortened by weather. We're all aware of that, and they're going to be starting from the back. Kyle Larson also is starting outside the top 25, so we got 4 potential winners that are going to come from the back, and that means maybe strategy plays. You're going to have to mix it up if you're going to get up to the front, especially in a short period of time.
Yes, of course, Kyle Larson going for him would be a historic 4th straight Michigan win, starting 26. Martin Truex, defending Cup champion, and last week's winner, also starting a little bit back in his Toyota.
Well, and after practice yesterday morning, Larson was one of the top couple of cars. He was really fast in the long run. We know Martin Truex, even though he didn't qualify great, will be another car that will race toward the front there with the 78. So it's going to be really interesting to me, Chris, to watch all these guys come from the back and see who can get there first. And is there going to be an opportunity around the competition caution to use strategy in order to propel yourself further up the lineup?
And Fords, who have had great success here, came in with 6 of the first 7 starting positions. And Brad Keselowski, who talked on our pre-race show, a number of drivers talking about different strategy. Without a win here, certainly would love to get a victory for Roger Penske, and being a Michiganer himself.
No doubt, not a win here. That's kind of hard to believe, as successful as he's been everywhere. And you know how special it would be to win at your home track.
Well, we've had more than a 2-hour rain delay. And Trace Adkins, country singer, hanging around with those loyal fans to give the command. You're watching NASCAR on Fox, live from Michigan.
Race fans, it's time for the most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command to start the engines, please welcome today's Grand Marshal, country music star, Trace Adkins.
Drivers, start your engines. Ready to race in Michigan, where NASCAR's Big Three have dominated the season stories. They've won 19 of the last 24 races combined. Who could join them today and make it a foursome? Kyle Larson going for his 4th Michigan win in a row, but he has to start from 26th position. How about Kurt Busch, who starts from the pole? Or who's your favorite to get to victory lane here in Michigan? Hi everybody, I'm Mike Joy, and here we sit 90 miles outside the Motor City, where this race has always had great importance. Detroit didn't invent the automobile, but it's been the crucible for the American automobile industry, and the Detroit Three, well, they still have a lot of say of what happens out here. Win on Sunday, sell on Monday. It's still true. And somewhere along the way, as Daytona and Talladega got restricted engines, this became NASCAR's fastest track. Today's pole speed, 203.3 miles per hour. That's the fastest lap that's been run here since Jeff Gordon set the track record back in 2014. We expect high-speed action for 400 miles here in Michigan once again. Engines have fired, drivers and fans are at the ready for NASCAR on Fox.
The backyard of Motor City, USA.
One thing this track has always had:
give me that little speed that let me down easy. So act like I couldn't see it coming for 100 miles. It's your move, go on and make it. And make it burn the whole way down. Leave my 6'4" engines out on the ground. Yeah, tomorrow I'll have me a heart hangover and one hell of a heartache. Know it all by the shine of whiskey and shoot me straight.
It's Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series racing from Michigan. We've been a bit rain delayed today, but don't worry, sunset's not until 9:12 p.m. here on the western edge of the Eastern Daylight Time Zone. Cars on track behind the safety car. Starting grid on the left side of your screen. And we've mentioned 3 cars will move to the back for inspection issues. Busch and Jones and Hamlin.
What we say, we dial up to 41, Kurt Busch. Hey, Kurt, this is Jeff up in the Fox Sports booth. You got me?
10-4, I got you, buddy.
Well, man, you delivered on Friday by winning the pole for your manufacturer Ford there. How about today? You got the goods to deliver back to them this race win.
Well, that's our job on the 41, is to be able to go out there and get wins. And we've been good on short run speed. we've just been trying as of late to work on our long run speed, and we got new Goodyear tires all the way around. So we'll see how that plays out, but got a great crew chief with Billy, and we'll make the right calls and be in the right position. But thanks to Monster, Haas, and Ford, we're doing it right now.
Hey, Kurt, it's DW. I just noticed that you and your teammates, y'all really seem to be working well together and sharing a lot of information. Is that really happening for you? It looks that way.
Yeah, it takes teamwork, man. Everybody's got to work together. And, you know, you got to work together 6 days out of the week, though, and go race on the 7th. You know, you want your car to win, and that's what I want to do for my guys on this 41 car.
All right, buddy. Well, you got the best view of all of them. Good luck.
10-4. Thanks, guys.
All right, let's get a stay dry update from pit road, beginning with Matt Yoakum.
Mike Clinton Boyer will roll off from the 12th position, and Boyer twice in his career has had multiple win seasons. Today chasing a third. The Martinsville winner has never won here at Michigan, but confidence is through the roof. In fact, they haven't changed anything on the race setup that they brought to the Irish Hills. Jamie?
Well, Denny Hamlin is a two-time winner here at Michigan, and he hopes he can make it 3 today and end that winless drought this year. But things got a little more tricky and challenging for him. As you guys mentioned in inspection today, NASCAR did not like the look of their splitter. I talked to his crew chief, Mike Wheeler, and he told me there was excessive wear that they didn't like. He said he changed it, put a different splitter on it, and at this point, they don't know if there will be further penalties this week. As of now, the focus is going from the back to the front. Regan?
All this talk about the big three and who could potentially join them as a winner this season. Well, I got a guy who's flying under the radar just a little bit. How about the 10 car of Eric Almirola? 6 top 10s this season already. Narrowly missed out on winning the Daytona 500, but most importantly, his crew chief Johnny Klausmeyer and engineer Mike Cook, they were the engineers on Kurt Busch's 2015 car that won in Michigan in what was a rain-shortened and rain-delayed race. Look for them to use strategy and speed today to have a strong effort. Larry Mack?
Regan, when these crew chiefs left the garage area last night, they sat down and they formed a strategy for 200 laps and 400 miles. You still hold on to that strategy, but you've had to formulate a new strategy. We know going this late with more weather to the west that we possibly may be racing for the end of stage 2, which would be 120 laps. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of urgency on the racetrack, but urgency from that pit box as well. Let's take a look at our race analysis now. As I mentioned, we're going to go 200 laps for 400 miles. The first 2 stages, 60 laps each. The final stage, the checkered flag, 80 laps. Pit road speed, 55 miles per hour. The fuel window, pay attention to that, 44 to 48 laps. The grip level, 1 not being much, 5 a lot. We're right there at a 4, and a competition caution at lap 25. And as you have heard mentioned, we'll iterate it again. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, 3 of the 4 Joe Gibbs Toyota drivers to the rear of the field. Inspection infractions, Mike.
Thanks, Larry. Well, that will make it interesting as we watch them. And Kyle Larson, who didn't have a good qualifying run, from 26th, he'll also come from the back. Well, now I'm joined by Hall of Famers Darrell Waltrip and Jeff Gordon, and now it's time. You've had a couple of hours, 2 hours, 15-minute rain delay to think about a green racetrack and rolling off there in turn 1 full throttle at 200+ miles an hour.
Exactly, Mike. I think at this track in particular, regardless of the situation we're in because of weather, one of the toughest to gauge what the grip level is going to be and how aggressive you can drive through 1 and 2. And then you get through 1 and 2, and then you got to go do it again in 3. So for Kurt Busch up front, that's one thing. He's in clean air. But for those guys in traffic further back, they're going to really have to be careful that first lap or 2.
And Darrell, at this racetrack, getting into turn 3 is very different from getting into turn 1.
Yeah, you got a big sweeper down into turn 1. That's where we see those really high speeds, 215 to 218 in that range. Turn 3 is a little sharper. It's a little more abrupt. You turn in a little tighter. Speed's not quite as high. Corner of the speed's not quite as so high. The whole secret to this deal here right now is getting this race started is being flexible and being able to adjust. The track's going to be a little different. You might even have to use a different strategy on the start of this race. But I think it's going to play out pretty good for a lot of these guys, though.
All right, we're set to go for stage number 1. We've been talking about the big 3. Who is poised to join them to become the Fab 4?
Those guys have been really fast. Great race cars, great drivers and teams, and you know that makes everyone push a little bit harder, I think, to try to get to their level and try to get to as dominant as what they are.
I try to lean on those guys just to get some insight on what I can do better and also what to look out for as a rookie.
Throughout that time, I think as you do go through struggles, you're getting better yourself. And hopefully when things turn around for us, we'll be better for it.
So who is best poised to join Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex?
Well, the first thing I would do is go to the teammates of those three, right? So you've got Gibbs, who's with Kyle Busch, and maybe even Martin Truex Jr., a teammate to them. Then you've got Stewart Haas racing with Kevin Harvick. So is it our pole sitter Kurt Busch? Is it maybe Clint Boyer or Almirola? But I got to say, this 42 of Larson, he's been the guy that everybody's talked about as maybe being the next best.
Yeah, I'd say our director likes Kyle Larson because that's the picture that popped right up on the screen.
Well, I tell you what, I think there's going to be a big surprise in who's going to be the number 4 guy. And I tell you why. I still believe Jimmy Johnson is a guy that's going to surprise a lot of people in the second half of this year. He's got 3 young teammates that he's had to tutor along here. When those guys get in the game and they start helping Jimmy, watch that 48 car. He's going to win some races.
And the reason why 4 drivers is so important is that's how many will battle for the championship in the finale at Homestead, Miami. Well, it's gotten cool here, 67 degrees, track temp still 74. A little wind coming out of the northeast. Maybe that'll keep some of that rain from the southwest away. Here's Eric Almirola's radio.
All right, boys, have a good day here. Track position, obviously key. I'll do my best for you on every restart. You give me all you got on pit road. Try and keep us up front and execute all day, and we'll have a good day. Thanks for bringing me a really fast car.
Eric Jones, one of those 3 Gibbs cars that has to start at the back for the inspection violation.
We got a good car. A little more work to do than what we anticipated, but we're going to be fine. Sir, man. One at a time coming back to the field there. We know how that'll be with traffic here, so we just lift them off one at a time. 200 laps.
I think it's so important by both of those radio communications. Great leadership and communication is what's going when you're having to overcome some adversity going to the back. It's important for you to be very positive as we get the 1 to go, that no problem, guys, we got this. Let's just take it one at a time.
I think you can go where you want to right now. The track is clean and green. I don't think there's really a preferred line. You don't want to get too high up, not a lot of grip, but I think you can go a lot of places that we weren't able to go earlier.
There are 3 of the 4 Gibbs Toyotas dropping to the rear. That front splitter underneath the front of the front valence, that has to be perfectly flat. NASCAR tests that. That's part of the inspection procedure. Kind of a new wrinkle added a couple of weeks ago. And Larry?
Yeah, let's take a look at our Ford Performance car at this front splitter. It's at the very bottom of the front of the car, and it's the part that it sticks out about a ½ inch from the front of the nose, but there's a lot of it underneath the nose. And what they were doing is this part right here was not perfectly flat. And then what some other teams were doing as they mounted that front splitter, when it mounted it, it warped it. And the more that you can change the configuration of that front splitter, it generates more front downforce. This is something NASCAR has been on hard this year. The front splitters, when mounted, have to be perfectly flat.
And Larry, to add to that, I would say that it sounds like some of these teams are maybe grinding some of it off to thin it out, that they feel like that's actually giving them a slight advantage, and that was one of the reasons also they made these Gibbs cars change their splitters.
Yeah, a little bit different look too. We saw the 2 car. I mean, it's sealed up solid all the way across. We see the 18 car. He's up a little on the right side, so that means the car's going to roll down a little more on the right side than what the 2 car would.
39 car field, 1 rookie, Garrett Smithley, starting his first Cup race today. And after a 2-hour, 15-minute rain delay, we're going to go green in the Irish Hills of Michigan.
Mike. What time is it?
What?
It's time to go racing. We've been waiting all afternoon. I know you folks at home have been waiting. People in the stands, they're on their feet, they're clapping their hands. Flagman's got the flag in his hand, and we're getting ready to go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Busch trying to lead his first lap at Michigan since he led the last lap of this race in 2015, and he will.
And Mike, I didn't think he was going to. Keselowski got a great start, got a little push from his teammate Joey Logano on that original start. Got the lead going into one, but obviously didn't feel confident with the grip level on that bottom lane. The 41 of Kurt Busch just blew right by him on the outside.
Speaking of blew right by him, here comes that 4 car, and he looks like he's poised to jump up here and take the lead.
Because of the rain overnight and today, NASCAR will have a competition caution at lap 25.
Mike, just the lower left. Watch those speeds climb down this front straightaway. Over 200. Look here, we're 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8. Just continues to go up all the way down into the corner.
215 for Kevin Harvick going into turn 1, and that's being behind his teammates. A little bit of a draft there, but also when you get to that corner, you don't want that air blowing over the top of your car. You want all the air pushing your car down.
6th place, Clint Boyer, Ryan Blaney, and it looks like Smithley's debut may be a short one. He's on pit road at lap 1.
Mike, 7 Fords. First to 7th right now, all Fords. A couple of Chevrolets, 24 and 31 in the top 10.
Well, you heard in the pre-race when Jeff spoke with Edsel Ford II just how important this race is to the Blue Oval. Regan?
Well, Brad Keselowski had a good start getting into turn 1, but even prior to that, Mike, he had to lift before he got to the line. He was afraid that he was going to beat the 41 of Kurt Busch to the start-finish line, which would have been a penalty. So impressive start with that considered.
Very.
Let's see if we can look at the start of the race here and see how it looks. The 2 down on the inside, 41 on the outside. The leader's got to be the first of the line.
Great push by the 22 to his teammate Brad Keselowski.
I think that's what was messing Keselowski up. He's getting a lot of help.
I thought the 2 of Keselowski was a little bit further ahead of the 41, but just didn't quite have position. You saw how confident Kurt Busch was. Pretty wide.
Well, coming up from the back, the 20 and the 11, which started tail end with Kyle Busch. Kyle up to 24th, Jones to 27th, Hamlin to 28th. Kyle Busch plus 15 spots from the green flag.
Kyle Busch thrives on things. He loves to pass cars on the outside. You get on that high side and go by. A lot of guys are fighting for the bottom.
Pulls up on Bubba Wallace in the 43.
Well, you saw just how you see Bubba's pointing him on by. Go ahead. I know you're a lot faster than I am. I'll see if I can't follow you here for a couple laps.
Good luck with that.
And look how wide this racetrack is. We'll give you the numbers later, but there is plenty of room to pass. Kyle Larson also coming up. Remember, he started 26th. He's gained 10 spots.
Yeah, he's another guy that just likes that high line. He likes to get up on the outside of people and make his moves and take them by surprise.
Right there with his teammate Jamie McMurray in the 1.
Guys, we're coming to complete lap 7, and almost every driver, every lap keeps getting faster. And trust me, crew chiefs are watching that, and I think that right there could lead to some strategy. Even at that competition caution, remember the one rule that goes along with a competition caution, no matter what, you can't fuel the car to that caution.
Yeah, Larry, and I think some of that initial startup speed or lack thereof was those air pressures being down. You know, just doesn't quite grip as well as when they come up to their optimal pressure. I think also this track was so clean and green, as DW mentioned, that I think they were tiptoeing the first couple laps.
I'm about ready to have the big one. Did you see what that speed was? 219 miles an hour.
Wow.
Dude, Mike, that's qualifying speed.
And then some.
219, that's incredible. Boy, you just watched. I mean, Kyle Larson. I always think back when he was a kid, and he always wanted to start in the back. And they asked him why, because I want to pass everybody. Well, today is your chance, young man. Going for 4 wins in a row here, Mike.
Yeah, we have 3-round knockout qualifying, and Larson said they just missed the setup for round 1, did not transfer to round number 2, but he is trying for 4 straight at Michigan International Speedway. In fact, his last 4 races, 3 wins and a third. Bill Elliott, 4 straight in 1985 and 86. That is the record here as this track celebrates its 50th anniversary.
I was in all those races. Now I get to watch this kid do the same thing.
Teammates 1-2, Kurt Busch and Kevin Harvick. Ford's positions 1 through 7 ahead of William Byron's Chevrolet. Kurt Busch has led every lap.
Throughout the season, Ford will be searching for the most passionate NASCAR fans to become the first ever inductees into the Ford Hall of Fans. To learn more, go to NASCAR.com/Ford.
14 laps complete. Kurt Busch has led them all from Kevin Harvick. Busch with a good run off turn number 2. Harvick catches up a bit in turn 3, and they kind of work the margin back and forth. Teammate Clint Boyer going after Joey Logano. That's 5th place. The rookies in this race, William Byron and Bubba Wallace, are running their fastest race laps of their career right now.
Yeah, and William Byron is doing, I just noticed that, it's a heck of a job for that 24 team right now. William Byron running 8th and hanging in there. Lap times look really good.
And Bubba 26th. The other rookie, Garrett Smithley, after the first lap went to the pit and then to the garage.
And we heard from William Byron yesterday after practice. Had a lot of confidence. He's real happy with the way his car was driving, so that's transferring over to today's race because he's pretty solid in 8th place right now.
He's such a methodical guy. He just does so much studying, and he's so well prepared when they start the race. It's like he has this, it's like an old soul. It's like he's been here before, but he hadn't, but he races that way.
Well, Kyle Busch has worked his way up into the top 20 from the back row. Matt.
Mike, all quiet on the radio, but you guys documented earlier just the extreme speeds we're seeing here at MIS, and also the pressure that puts not only on the body but on that back glass. During practice, Kyle Busch's team experienced a slight issue with their back glass. One of the braces started to collapse, so being proactive and extra cautious, not only the 18 but their 3 teammates added an extra brace to that back window to add extra strength so they would not have an issue. Now keep in mind the 78 of Truex, although they're corporate teammates, that bunch, they hang their own bodies, so they didn't need to add an extra brace.
Thanks, Matt. Busch up to 19th. Denny Hamlin up to 21st, passing Jimmy Johnson. And Eric Jones up into the top 20 after starting last.
Talk about 48 car. He's struggling, Mike. He's all the way back. He's running 22nd right now and not going anywhere. These guys are all going right by him.
Well, and to me, at the start of this race, if you miss that setup a little bit, if you're a little bit too loose, too tight, it can cost you a lot. But good news is they've got that competition caution coming up soon.
6 more laps.
Boyer just gets around Joey Logano there. That's for 5th place. Nice pass.
Well, Jimmy Johnson, we wondered what his issues were. It turns out it's turn 3. Ryan Blaney, 7th of those 7 Fords up front. Jamie.
Well, and you know these teams are running a different left side and right side tire here this weekend, but they did run the left side tire at Texas earlier in the season. Blaney's team told me that really helped with the initial setup of the car, but it's turned out to be much tighter than they expected. They had a decent qualifying run of 9th, but that's where it ended. They didn't feel like they were going to race that good. Right now he's saying he's loose in, loose off. That means it's just not handling the way he wants, especially in 3 and 4.
Sounds like he's not alone with that problem. Hard to believe how this racetrack, as it has built so much speed, the difference in the 2 ends really becomes pronounced, and demands compromise.
Yeah, well, we talked about it earlier in the show about how turn one, and they got a D-shaped front straightaway. So that turn one is like what I call a sweeper. You can just really, really stay in the gas. That's why we see those such high speeds, 215 to 219 getting into turn one, because you kind of sweep off into that corner. Now, turn three, you go down the back straightaway. When you get to turn three, you got to turn it in a lot more abrupt. And so you can have a lot of trouble in turn three that you won't have in turn one.
And we see in that camera shot how flat that back straightaway is. So now you're going flat straightaway into the banking, where on the front straightaway, as you mentioned, Darrell, you have a nice bank sweeping front straightaway. So turn three, to me, is the trickiest part of this racetrack to figure out from a driver and from the team trying to set the car up.
Well, you see the crews getting all ready for these first round of pit stops here. They're coming up pretty quick.
22 complete. Once the field cycles through the start-finish line at lap 25, they will waive the competition caution so teams can check tire wear and set up on what has become a very green racetrack due to rain. Kyle Larson got up to 14th, past his teammate McMurray. Now sets sail after Hamlin. He's 13 seconds back of the lead. Well, Kurt Busch has led every lap. Did anybody see that coming?
Well, he's been talking about being better on the longer runs. I give him a lot of credit. Whatever he and Billy Scott have done a great job to be able to stay ahead of his teammate, Kevin Harvick.
Chase Elliott battling for 9th place with Ryan Newman. Newman started 9th, Elliott 11th.
You talked about Kurt Busch. I think he came in here all wound up.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, he saw him at the hockey game the other night when he was cranking that siren up all like he was.
At the Stanley Cup Finals?
At the Stanley Cup Finals. I think it got him all wound up, and he's showing he's ready to go.
Got a little Las Vegas Golden Knights in him.
Yeah.
Right? Between that and the Cubs, he has a very busy sports schedule.
Whoa, nice move by Mark Truex Jr. Looked like maybe the 3 of Austin Dillon had a little issue, or maybe the 17.
No, there's something wrong right here.
Well, that Stenhouse and Dillon maybe had a little moment.
Yeah, I don't
They're going to lose spots.
They were not happy with each other. That's what I call body language.
Boy, and they're still not happy. Here comes McMurray.
Now that's momentum. Look, Bowman's going to go by both of them also. So whatever happened over there in 1 and 2.
Caution is out. And this will be the competition yellow.
What I'd ask each other, how'd that work out for you?
Yeah.
Not so hot. No, there's something.
Stenhouse still upset with Austin Dillon.
Something serious wrong right there.
32 cars on the lead lap. Corey LaJoie, the first car 1 lap down, will get the free pass. So pit road will be a busy place. I wonder what started this between yesterday's winner, Austin Dillon, in 3, and Ricky Stenhouse.
Oh, you can see the 3 of Austin Dillon went to the low side, slides up, just sort of a slide job up in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And that just slows his momentum down, opens the door for the 78. Then Stenhouse shows his displeasure. They get side by side, and the 42 of Larson carries momentum off of turn 2, goes right by them.
Yeah, I didn't see where Dillon did anything wrong here, though. He had position. He slid up in front of Stenhouse. That looked like just a good pass to me, but obviously didn't. Stenhouse don't agree with that for sure.
All right, guys, we're going to go back racing with about 30 to go in this stage. I think you're going to see most everybody come get 4 tires, but the one car I want to watch is Denny Hamlin at 11, Mike Wheeler, his crew chief. It's like he never ran the car that hard in the beginning. I just wonder if they're thinking maybe going with just rights here to try to get that track position, because he just never ran the car hard in the beginning.
Drivers being cautioned that while the track is completely dry, there's still a good bit of dampness on pit road, and with these slick Goodyear Racing tires, watch your speed, watch your braking.
Yeah, real easy to lock up the tires at these low speeds with those tires.
32 cars will pit at once. Pit road's going to be very busy here in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, and everybody's going with sticker tires. I saw that was brand new tires getting ready to throw on these babies.
All right, here's Regan.
Well, Brad Keselowski's going to have a clear shot in and out of his pit stall. They're very happy to qualify as well as they did today, because they have had a tough time in qualifying all year long. The race car is just a little bit tight right now. They're going to make a small adjustment for that. Jamie?
Ryan Blaney was fastest in first practice this weekend, but the car handling has gone away a little bit loose, and he said, I know a lot of people will do 2 tires. I want to do 4. There's also a chassis adjustment there for the 12, Matt.
Kevin Harvick can't arc it into turn 3 like he would like. The car just not in the racetrack in the back. Meanwhile, the 41, he is already away. An air pressure change in that right rear to help the car later in the run.
Kurt Busch out first. Look at Denny Hamlin with a 2-tire change. That's how you gain 19 positions when everybody else is stopped.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice call, Larry.
We're under caution at Michigan.
Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Racing is sponsored by Monster Energy, official sponsor of NASCAR.
Eric Jones, Paul Menard, too fast entering the pits. They'll start out back. Eric Almirola lost 11 spots, slid through his pit stall, had to back up. It's Busch and Harvick once again off the front row with Keselowski, Hamlin, all with 2 tires, Logano, Blaney.
Oh boy,
This looks like the start of the race. The 41 took that outside line and away he goes.
Boy, Hamlin slid up the track there down in turn 1. Remember, they only took 2.
Whoa,
4 wide.
Little bouncing
Larson,
off each other.
Truex.
Martin, Truex, Elliott, and Bowman were 4 wide.
Yeah, you see the sparks flying off that 9 car. Left front splitter was hitting the ground pretty hard, hitting the track pretty hard.
Boyer on the outside of Ryan Newman and Denny Hamlin.
I think people will be watching those 2-tire stops and see how that works out, because right now I don't know if that's working out so good for Hamlin.
But you never want to be the last car on 2 tires with 4 tires right behind you, because you know they're going to pounce.
Larson in 11th, again battling his teammate McMurray.
But Mike, that's smart play even on the 11th part, because I mean, you're starting back, you got to get up to the front some way. Little strategy right now, it's worth trying.
He gained what, 16, 18 positions?
Yeah, it helped him.
Yeah.
Overall, we'll see how it ends up, but you know, short term a gain for sure.
Hendrick Chevy teammates. Bowman and Elliott 12th and 13th. William Byron up in 6th, carrying the flag for Rick Hendrick.
Boy, that Byron kid is going somewhere today, Mike. I mean, that car has been in the top 5 or 6, 7 right here the whole start of the race.
Penske teammates. Blaney and Logano, and Blaney closed a 100-yard gap from turn 2 to turn 3.
Yeah, you can see the 20 Joey Logano. That car is really loose. I think those 4 sticker tires that he has right now have not quite come up to temperature and up to pressure to his liking. And I think that's what's really helping Ryan Blaney get that run.
I just like that little 12 car. I like Blaney. I just think that's a kid that's going to win a race. Maybe today. Got a good car for sure.
Eighth place, Ryan Newman, Denny Hamlin. And here comes
Larson with the big run.
By the way, Mike, I do know that Blaney has won a race, but I'm just thinking in that car, in that scenario where he is right now, they really look good.
And in this season.
Yes.
Yep, looking for one.
Boyer had, I don't know exactly what happened on that pit stop, but they had a little bit of an issue because they lost a few spots, so now he's starting to gain those back.
Clint Boyer in 6th place, Matt.
When you look at that stop by Boyer, they took on 4 tires. Also, he had to be a little bit more gingerly exiting his pit box, because when he entered it, he did know that it was extra slick, told his team to put down a little bit more grip, the PJ1 soda mixture, for the next time he hits pit road.
Look who's up racing for 12th place after starting out back, Kyle Busch.
Are we surprised?
No.
Kyle was very confident that, you know, it'd just be a matter of time he worked his way in front. I felt the same way. You give him you challenge him, and he rises to the occasion.
Asked a bunch of people in the garage this morning, how long is it going to take Kyle Busch to get to the top 10? And most of the answers were 40, maybe 50 laps.
Somewhere in that range, yeah.
Those 4 tires on Brad Keselowski and those 2 tires on the 41 of our leader, Kurt Busch. I think he's really starting to see where that grip is going away.
I'll tell you one thing, though, that 41 car, he does a lot like Harvick does. Maybe not so good getting in the corner, but when he gets, trouble.
David Reagan up and in the wall. Bubba Wallace goes for a spin.
Whoa.
And everybody else gets by. That'll put us under caution at lap 36.
No damage to the 43 of Bubba Wallace. I'm wondering, as they were battling for 26, did they make contact, or did he just try to avoid the 38 of David Reagan?
I think he was just trying to avoid him. Looked like he spun, maybe got on the brake a little bit too hard and spun him around. Don't see any damage to the car.
You can see they're side by side going into turn 1. Sparks from the 43 where the car bottoms out a little bit. Oh, he's going to get Bubba loose.
Oh, yeah, he got loose. And then, bam, right there, they did make contact. Wow.
These cars, it's so hard to describe, especially with the right side tire that has to be as durable as Goodyear has to bring here because of these high speeds. It's so edgy from being underneath you to just stepping out.
I hate that for David Reagan.
I do too.
Nice guy, second generation driver from Georgia. Had some good runs, but had some rough finishes this season.
Mike, we're way over 200 mile an hour going into turn 1. And so you get under somebody and you get a little bit loose, and you see the damage to the 43 car here. And remember, Mike, the rear spoiler on these things only a couple inches tall. I mean, not got a lot of rear spoiler.
The road is open. Everybody looking. Nobody taking so far. Most of the lead lap cars stay on track. Welcome back to Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series racing from Michigan. 38 laps, now 39 complete as they get the 1 to go sign. Second caution of the day, the first for contact, when Bubba Wallace slid into David Reagan down in turn 1. Reagan went around and into the wall. You see him being towed away. Side by side, they went into the corner.
Yeah, there's plenty of gap there between the two of them, but as Bubba Wallace, you see those sparks on the left side. He comes up the racetrack just enough where the 38 of David Reagan's car starts to affect the air on that rear spoiler of Bubba Wallace and just sends him around, and unfortunately they make contact.
I believe that splitter bottoming out may have gotten the car, just upset the car a little bit, and then Bubba was kind of out of control when Reagan was on his outside.
Yeah, he just needed some racetrack.
Yeah, he needed a little room.
The only lead lap cars that pitted were Matt DiBenedetto, Jimmy Johnson, and of course Wallace. Jamie?
Well, Jimmy Johnson has been saying how loose he is getting into the corner. So Chad Knaus just said, you know, this is a good time. Let's bring it in. He put a spring rubber in the right rear to hopefully tighten him up a bit. And they knew they wouldn't give up much track position, and they stayed on the lead lap there too.
This is what I love. Darrell, back in the day, you put a spring rubber in the right rear, what did it do?
Yeah.
Freed it up, right?
Yeah.
But these days, aerodynamics so important. You're actually maybe propping up that rear spoiler, doing something to aerodynamically tighten the race car up.
Exactly.
Timmy Hill, he's on the lead lap. He also pitted, and Landon Castle got the free pass. So now there are 33 lead lap cars, 34 counting Bubba, as they come around to the Geico restart zone. And we'll be back underway with 40 of 60 laps in stage 1 complete. Green flag. 2 tires versus 4 up on the front row.
And high line versus low line on the restart.
Pretty much the same players at the front. 41, 2, 4. 12's worked his way in there, and he might have a little something to say about who leads this race.
Boy, Brad Keselowski's had to deal with that bottom lane now twice, and it hasn't worked out for him.
There comes Boyer in the 14 car, so
watch out, here comes Kyle Larson.
3 wide.
Oh yeah, as they say, business is picking up.
Well, Hamlin thought better of it. Remember, he's got just 2 tires from that lap 27 pit stop.
Watch Kevin Harvick slide up into that hole, and then here's Kyle Busch making him 3 wide. I don't think this is going to work out too well for Kyle Busch. He's got that inside lane. We just saw what happened with Bubba Wallace. Just don't think that bottom groove is really there yet.
Took Kyle exactly 40 laps to get from last to the top 10.
Oh, he was able to slide right up in front of Joey Logano. Joey Logano saying, no way, I'm not having it.
Yeah, Logano knew he was going to do that. He was ready.
I just think these cars are so edgy when a car gets to the outside of them that they really can't afford to have a car on their outside.
Yeah, at these high speed, these really high speeds. Oh, Kane's slowing down. What's his problem? I think he just got loose off the corner. I saw him slow, but I think he just got loose.
Ty Dillon right in the middle with Kane up top. And that's going to sort out.
Now, I sort of think that caution actually helped out the 2 tires of the 41 of Kurt Busch by having a cycle on those fresher 4 tires behind him. I think now that's going to level things out quite a bit.
You know what I've always found when you got a really good race car, you can do about anything you want to and get away with it. And that 41 is pretty good right now.
And so is this for Kevin Harvick.
He's in 6th place. Right behind Keselowski in the 2, Regan.
Well, Brad's been all quiet since losing those spots on the restarts, but just before the restart, spotter Joey Meyer got in his ear and was giving him a radar update. Said he thought we were definitely good till halfway through stage 2. That's important because Joey Meyer is a pilot, and in my experience, pilots are very good at reading the radar. Matt?
Regan, several drivers are talking about vibrations really from the drop of the green. 2 of those, Kurt Busch and his teammate Kevin Harvick. Now that was something we saw trending during practice on Saturday on sticker tires, and then it would progressively go away. Harvick and Busch both say it has it, but remember, they took 2 tires. The track appears to be tightening up even more.
Now watch on your left, because off turn 2, Kurt Busch's car has been a rocket. Look at him yard Blaney down the back straightaway, and then the 12 will close back in the corner.
Yeah, the 41, he drives in a little soft, gets out a little early, but man, when he gets back in the throttle a lot, we see with Kevin Harvick do that a lot, really rockets off.
If Ryan Blaney can continue to run a little bit lower line and get a little fresh air or clean air on that left front or that nose of that 12 car, that's what's going to allow him to get side by side with Kurt Busch. Let's see if he can do that again down here.
And I think Kurt's going to fight really hard, because all these drivers talk about is clean air. And right now, Kurt Busch is in the best possible place he can be in. He doesn't want to get past and get back in that dirty air.
And Kurt did an excellent job of defending that lower lane that time through 1 and 2.
Blaney right back on him in turn number 3, and Clint Boyer closing on the 2 leaders.
How about Boyer? I mean, he is coming and looking really, really good.
Right there, Larson really
from
coming.
the rear.
Yeah, it's Larson.
Or from 27th. Almost the rear.
You fellas asked Kyle Larson 18 questions in the pre-race, and all he wanted to do was watch that guy get shot out of the cannon.
He was fascinated by it.
He's been shot out of a cannon. He's right up here battling for the lead. A couple laps ago, Joey Logano came right up behind Kyle Busch, and here's what happened. Tap. And for the lead, Ryan Blaney becomes only the 2nd driver to lead today. This is his 7th start at Michigan and the first time he has led here. Now, after that little bump from Joey Logano, here's what Kyle Busch said.
These guys are all edgy, aren't they? Everybody's like, you know, we saw the 17 and the 3 fight with each other. Here we are, the 18 and the 22 fight with each other.
If you went to the 22 Logano's radio, he'd probably say, hey, he shouldn't be jumping up in front of me like that.
"52 laps complete at Michigan for Ryan Blaney, the 2nd driver to lead today. Pole sitter Kurt Busch led the first 46 laps. And now it's Blaney, both in Fords. Kyle Larson is the first Chevrolet in the race in 4th, and the first Toyota, now Denny Hamlin, in 7th. 8 to go in stage 1. Well, those Gibbs cars rebounded well from the pre-race inspection penalties.
That's amazing.
And Eric Jones, I think he had an issue on the last pit stop, so he would even be right up there with him, and he had not had that issue.
Yeah, Larson, you know, he was back there because he didn't qualify well. With those other cats, they came from the very way back.
Clint Boyer battling his teammate for second.
Tell you what, Mike, I know they work together a lot every week, but I just think it shows the importance these teams put on this race by the way all 4 of those Stewart-Haas cars are running today. That's sharing information, working together, trying to make sure one of those guys possibly go win this race for Ford today.
And one of the keys to that, we were talking earlier today, Tony Gibson, his new role there.
Yeah, Tony Gibson went over there as team manager or as the shop foreman. He looked at the cars. He said, one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be sure these cars all leave here the same, because they weren't. And so they're building all the cars the same, and they'll get to the track. Then it's up to the crew chief and the driver, but they're going to leave the shop all in the same configuration. And I like that.
I want to know what happens between leaving the shop and getting to the racetrack, because Kevin Harvick's car seems to be quite a bit faster than these guys typically on a race weekend. But today, Kurt Busch and the 14 of Boyer definitely shown the speed. Yeah, you know, it's easy now to question a little bit that 2-tire call by the 41 of Kurt Busch and Billy Scott. I mean, they had the #1 pit stall. I think even if they had taken 4 tires, they may have lost 1 position to their teammate, but I think it was going to pay off for them.
These two here keep going at each other, I can tell you that. That's for 7th place, and Kyle will get in front, and here comes Denny. He'll drop back down on the inside, and they'll fight a little bit, but it looks like the 18 may have cleared the 11 this time. Trouble.
Spin in turn 4. Down to the inside is Matt Kenseth, driving his final race in the Roush Fenway #6 until September.
Matt was in 27th.
I don't. All the tires are flat right now, so I don't know what, I don't know if it's a tire issue or not. But
looks like the right. Well, they're down now.
Yeah,
but were they down when he spun? Let's see.
Kind of hard to tell.
He was battling right there. Was that McDowell maybe that he was battling with? Looks like maybe the air off of that car could create a little bit more of a loose condition.
And about midway through that spin, you saw the right front drop as the tire let go, and of course the inner liner holds up. Thank goodness.
This shouldn't this be the end of this? We should be at the end of this stage.
Well, it's 3 to go. That's up to NASCAR's discretion to see if they can restart.
On a day like today, maybe we.
And they've not yet said if this will end stage 1 or not. Pit road will be open. Now, before stage racing, this race would be complete at halfway, 100 laps. But now, for the race to be complete, we must complete 2 stages. That's 120 laps. They're going to open pit road and give 1 to go. Quickie yellow, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer if you're sitting outside the top 10. The key's going to be, they've actually closed the pits. They actually kept the pits closed right there.
Well, that was going to really mix up the pit strategy.
This is going to be confusing.
Well, it was going to put Ryan Blaney and the 12 and Jeremy Bullins in a bad situation, because they're sitting there and could possibly win this stage and give up a playoff point.
But Larry, here's 1 to go. They are not going to open pit road. NASCAR doing everything they can to get this race in before darkness at 9:15 p.m. They've got a car to move from the apron at turn number 3. And that's
I believe it.
That's Matt Kenseth that's just crawling back. He's trying not to let those tires come apart and tear up the fenders anymore. And not to
so
mention
the field is in turn 1. Kenseth is in turn 4. We are still on 1 to go. Going to try to get that car to pit road and off the racetrack along with the support truck that's following it. Bubba Wallace did make a pit stop, and the lights are back on.
No, that's just
no, back straightaway. Sorry,
back straightaway.
The lights are not on the pace car. That was a safety truck. And Kenseth's going to make it. We're going to get to go green.
Yeah, everybody's hustling and getting all the trucks off the track, safety trucks. Kenseth on pit road, we're good to go.
Here's your restart order.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to cost the 41 Kurt Busch a couple positions here because he's on that inside lane. He's going to have to fight really hard.
Timmy Hill got the free pass. So we'll have 1 lap to race to finish off stage 1.
Chase Elliott down there in the flat trying to keep some fuel in that pickup. Oh no, he's got a flat left rear tire.
Yeah, he's got a tire down.
Chase Elliott with a flat left rear. He will come to pit road as the field's going to get the green for 1 lap. Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch up front, green flag.
Well, that 12 car got a nice jump.
So the 42 of Larson.
Yeah.
Mark Truex way down to the bottom. No out of bounds here.
Nice job by Boyer here in that inside lane to jump up in front of his teammate Kevin Harvick. Now he's going to go to the inside of his teammate Kurt Busch.
Tell you, that 14 car is going somewhere today. That thing is wound up.
Kenseth back up to speed. Whoa. 3 wide.
That was close.
That was tight.
Green and white checkered flag in the air. Here comes Ryan Blaney. He wins stage 1 from Kyle Larson, Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick, and Denny Hamlin.
That was wild. Woo. That was really wild.
4th stage win of the year for Ryan Blaney. And the number 9 of Chase Elliott was 10th on that restart as they came toward the flag. He went to pit road, dropped to 32nd.
He's just happy to be on the lead lap, I think, right now.
Yeah, actually, it was a good catch. You know, it's going to hurt him, but at least it was a good catch. He knew he had a tire, he had to get to pit road.
So we gave you the top 5. Keselowski, Kurt Busch, William Byron, Joey Logano, and Eric Almirola also gained stage points. Truex missed it by 1 spot. I believe Greg Galding will be the free pass car at the end of stage 1. And now a quick word from Duracell.
This is the #1 trusted brand.
So Ryan Blaney leads 15 laps and wins stage 1. A quick update on the drivers who started out back. Kyle Larson started 26th, finishes stage 1 in 2nd. Denny Hamlin started under penalty. He finishes up 5th. Kyle Busch 12th, and Eric Jones 15th. They all started under penalty at the back of the field.
You know, Mike, there's no question Denny Hamlin, Kurt Busch, that 41 that changed just right side tires earlier, they're going to have to get 4. I think you need to get 4 here. This is where you need to start thinking about 60 laps from now. Where do I need to be? What do I need to do to get to the end of stage 2, continuing to monitor the weather?
We're under the threat of rain from the southwest. Now, once we got under green, the rain has pretty much dissipated and not made its way back to the racetrack, down to 67 degrees right now. Regan.
Brad Keselowski's crew chief Paul Wolf, who used a combination of last year's notes as well as the notes from a tire test a couple weeks ago to set this car up. It's been fast all weekend, but right now he's way too tight. They're going to adjust for that. Jamie?
Ryan Blaney wins that stage, said the car took off much better that time, wants to be tightened up a scotch. That was his words. Air pressure adjustment, tape, and 4 tires, Matt.
Kyle Larson stopped a little bit shorter in the box that way to help his exit getting around the 14 of Clint Boyer. No changes, a little bit of a hang up there on the left front of Larson. He's away. Great stop by Boyer's guys.
Casey Kane and Austin Dillon with 2 tires each gain a triple handful of positions.
Let's talk to Ryan Blaney. What do you say?
Yeah.
Hey, Brian Blaney at CW. You got me there, buddy? Yeah, man. Hey, that thing is hooked up. That 12 car, you and Jeremy got that thing going somewhere today. How's it feeling out there?
Yeah, I think our exhibit forward is pretty good. We were able to get it better there on that first caution. I really enjoyed that last run. So I think the racetrack keep changing, though. Just have to keep up with it. So far, so good. Pretty proud of our speed. Just got to keep it going.
Well, I got to tell you, I wish I could be as laid back as you are. I just never was that way, but you're doing a great job. Keep it up, kid.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Stage winner, Ryan Blaney for Team Penske and Ford.
Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Racing is sponsored by Monster Energy, official sponsor of NASCAR.
64 complete. Stage 2 coming. Here are the Xfinity fastest pit stops at the end of stage 1. Nice job by Team Hendrick, 88 and 24. Now, Larry, they did not open the pits under that caution. Took us a little while to figure that one out.
Yeah, Mike, because we were coming to 2 to go before the end of the stage. We always close pit road, whether we're under caution or under green, when you get to the 2 to go at the end of a stage.
Thanks, Larry. So Bubba Wallace, who did not pit, will start up there with Casey Kane, who got 2 tires. Austin Dillon, who got 2.
I think I see him going back to the back.
I think that's Bubba falling to the rear.
All right.
A lot of discussion among the drivers as to where they're supposed to be lined up right now.
Wallace pitted too soon. That's why he's sent to the back of the field. Geico restart zone. Here we go.
That's the first time I've seen him start 3 wide here in Michigan.
Well, I don't think it'll be the last. He's got to get aggressive on these restarts. Really aggressive.
Casey Kane around the outside. Can he hold it against Blaney?
Yeah, this is where the battle is going to be between the 12 of Blaney and the 4 of Harvick.
Look at Kane. He kind of pulls him up, pulls him down the back straightaway. Hadn't seen that in a while.
Whoa.
Harvick sends it in.
Yeah, and the 12 of Blaney slid up the track a bit.
Boyer right there as well. 4 wide. Behold, spinner. Turn 4 and around goes Daniel Suarez.
I got 2 right here.
Splitter looks intact. A little damage to that right side.
Yeah, got a right front tire down from the spin.
I think he's fine.
They were 4 wide. He and Paul Menard got together at the least. And there may be more to this.
Let's see.
There were a lot of cars under one blanket there.
It's a pretty big wad right there.
There's just something about, we have a newer Goodyear tire here, but there's just something about these restarts at this track and being in dirty air.
Let's see what happens here, Jeff.
19 on the right corner of your screen underneath the 21 of Paul Menard.
He's as low as he can go to the white line. Slides up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I think the 17 of Stenhouse maybe was right on his bumper, got him loose.
Yeah, well, he was in a bad spot. 19 was. He had the 21 on his outside, and Ricky Stenhouse stuck his nose in there, and the car just got around on him.
So you can see the 19 of Suarez goes to the bottom, going to try to make a move here. Right there, he got loose even before Stenhouse got to him. He got a little loose and ran out of racetrack and got into the 21, sent him around. This ought to be a good view of this.
Throttle. I think it was a chain reaction. The 78 got a little bit loose, and then Daniel Suarez there reacted to it a little bit, and I think that's what happened. This kid, right here with the 78.
Yeah, watch the 78. He gets loose first.
Right
stacks
there.
him up.
I think that's what stacked him up, and I think that's when the Suarez checked up a little bit, got into the side of the 21, around he went.
Whew,
nice job, Jimmy Johnson.
It's almost as if when Menard moved up the racetrack, as if it sucked the back of the car, the right side of the car around for Suarez.
And they're probably around 180 mile an hour right along there.
Pits are open now. We'll go back and clean up the Bubba Wallace Chase Elliott issue. When the pits were closed, they both pitted too soon. NASCAR waited. They were on one to go before NASCAR was able to apply the penalty, and they had to drop to the back of the field. Under caution again. Tempers flaring here in Michigan. The sky's done a little crying. Hopefully we're rain free for this next bit. We can get through stage 2. Let's get out to Jamie Little at the eBay Motors Pit Box.
Well, Mike, coming into this season, you know, one of the big stories was air guns, that NASCAR was going to mandate these for each team. Well, we heard a lot of pushback, and we heard some failures. We heard a lot of complaints. Well, just before the Talladega race, NASCAR mandated for all teams that they had to use nitrogen gas for these guns. No longer could they use other gases like helium. Well, you haven't heard a lot of complaints since then. So I checked in with Paoli. They're the guys that get these guns out, and they told me that helium was spiking these guns' RPMs about 2,000 RPM higher than they're designed for. So that was leading to failures and trouble. With the nitrogen, it keeps them right in the sweet spot, about 10 to 11,000 RPM. So the bottom line is, with the nitrogen gas, less complaints, less gun failures, and a lot of cost savings.
Thanks, Jamie. Shop every part for every ride. ebay.com/motors. Casey Kane is on point with Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, Clint Boyer, Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon, William Byron, Kyle Larson, and Kyle Busch. The top 10 on this restart. Here's Austin Dillon's radio.
More than likely, we're going to run here, and we may be able to make it to the end without coming. If not, we may run to our light and come. So I'll let you know. Just run hard as you can.
Lap 10 of 60 in stage 2.
You know, I thought they'd make pretty quick work of Casey Kane, but boy, if he didn't do a pretty good job of holding Harvick and Blaney off, we'll see if he can do it again.
Green flag.
I think Harvick's going to have to hold off his teammate, the 14 of Clint Boyer, in that outside lane. Oh, Harvick does an excellent job being aggressive on the bottom lane, and he's going to move up in front of Casey Kane, take the lead.
Yeah, I think Harvick knew he needed to get in front of Casey Kane right here on this get-go, because Casey was pretty hard to pass there before that caution came out.
So Kurt Busch there battling with William Byron, trying to make up some spots. He lost some ground right before the end of that stage with those two tires. Got in a tough position and went backwards a little bit. Now he's got to make it up. He gets a little wide there off of turn 2.
Well, he sailed it in. I mean, he really drove down the corner hard. The car pushed up, cost him a little time off turn 2.
Kyle Larson trying to take 11th from Austin Dillon. And here comes Keselowski. No Michigan-born driver has ever won this race. Brad, Eric Jones, and one of them wants to be the first.
Hey, that 2 car's been right there from the drop of the green. But I'm really impressed with Casey Kane, how he's able to hang in here with these guys. Pretty good job. You're going to see Blaney go by here on the inside, looks like. But nice job by Casey hanging in there and staying up front.
I think it shows you how much better a car can handle up front in that cleaner air. I think that's what lends itself here also to some great pit strategy to change it up a bit, and why sometimes you'll see more 2-tire stops here for that track position. Matt?
Even after showing that ludicrous speed in qualifying to win the pole, Kurt Busch knew they needed to make some more adjustments because the car did not have long run speed. Last night, he called for a spring change across the back of that 41. They did that. The car still does not have long run speed. They made a wedge adjustment to try to improve that again on the last stop.
Boy, Joey Logano, top to bottom, and past Casey Kane, that'll be for 5th place.
And Mike, you know, just like I do, just like Kyle Busch knows, Joey Logano is an aggressive driver. He pushes it hard all the time.
But no pass. He is not able to get past Casey Kane.
I think he saw that bump drafting going on here yesterday in the Xfinity race and said, hey, I'm going to try that today in the Cup race.
Also like the way Kyle Busch kind of took it a little bit to Joey Logano, said if he does that again, might be a little problem here.
Well, we've seen them have a history before. Go back to Las Vegas about a year ago.
Memory. They don't forget, do they?
No. Joey Logano told us yesterday, if NASCAR did not limit Cup drivers' participation in the other national series, he'd run every race. Looking at 5th on back here. Looking back from Larson up to 8th. 76 laps complete. 6 Fords in front of Kyle Busch's Toyota and Kyle Larson's Chevrolet. 81 laps complete in Michigan. A lot of 3-wide jousting, especially into turn 1, where we have seen speeds as fast as 220 miles an hour, and that by that number 48 right there, Jimmy Johnson.
And my fast lap right now by Harvick at 36.09. We only qualified at a 35.4. That's that's almost 200 mile an hour average around this 2-mile racetrack in the race. But conditions are perfect. It's cloudy, it's overcast, it's cool. The grip of the track is high, and these cars are really, really hauling the mail around this racetrack.
Daryl, I see some raindrops. I don't know if the drivers are going to agree with you that these are perfect conditions. I would not want to be going 220 miles an hour down into turn 1 with any raindrops on my windshield.
Well, I don't want to go down into turn 1 to 220 under any circumstances. But
there's Regan Smith. We're going to Regan Smith as you see Ricky Stenhouse getting passed by Daniel Suarez. Regan.
Well, crew chief Brian Patty told me earlier today he was going to do whatever he had to get stage points and maximize points as the day goes on for that race car. They were running outside of the top 10. They came and topped off on that last caution at the very end. They should be good to go to the end of the stage when others might not be.
And you know, Mike, I noticed in all these race cars, maybe it's that way, but I noticed it more here than ever. Maybe it's the speed. A lot of turbulence in that left window around the window net. And look at the window net of Keselowski.
That's in the corner. Watch when they get on the straightaway and that air starts funneling in that left side window.
And watch his sock around his on the bottom of his helmet. There's a lot of turbulence inside these cars this weekend. And I think it's the high speed.
There's a lot happening at 205 miles an hour down the backstretch.
Well, and you can be assured some engineers are going to be watching all of our cameras from inside, outside, see what they can learn about the aerodynamics and wind and how it moves not only in the outside of the car, but as it comes in the window and that pressure inside. Oh,
Kyle Larson goes around turn 4, hard into the grass. We're under caution again.
I think that's soft
left
grass.
rear.
Looked like a left rear down on that car, but you know what, Mike?
They're all down.
All that rain and that grass is soft. I don't believe it's going to damage that car.
Well, he would be really lucky with that, Daryl, because oftentimes when the ground is saturated like that, if that splitter digs in, well, you can see he picked up about half of Jackson County right there. He took it with him.
He just deposited it on the front straightaway.
Oh, the hood's bowed up a bit. He was running 8th and closing in on Kyle Busch.
Let's see what happened here. I think the left rear tire may have gone down on his car.
Just real loose going into the corner. Gets a little wide.
Just starts around.
It just starts around.
No, it just starts around.
But I think, you know, he likes his car to turn really positively to get that center corner speed. And I think the car was just a little bit loose as he got in the throttle. And because he was higher, the way that air was coming off the 18 in front of him was probably not helping a lot either.
The reason I said the left rear, and this car has had a history of having trouble in the race with the left rear. We saw it wheel hop a couple of times to get in trouble. And so I was thinking maybe something went on with that left rear tire again this week.
The way it wiggled going into the corner, I would not be surprised if that left rear was a little low. Big impact.
Yeah.
Matt Nose dug into the grass.
Guys, this opens some interesting strategy right here, because right now we're about 34 laps to go to the end of stage 2. Most everybody needs to pit for at least fuel right here. We've got some drivers that they topped off as Regan Smith. For example, Paul Menard, Greg Irwin brought him to pit road at lap 70. I think, though, the ones that do hit pit road for fuel, you may see fuel only or right side tires only for sure, keeping that track position to try to get to the end of stage 2.
Yep, pit road opens right now. Regan?
Brad Keselowski using a little bit of code on the radio. Wasn't exactly sure if he was coming or not right there. He finally got an outside line restart, which helped him to get up to 3rd place. The race car is just a little bit too free on entry right now, so they're going to adjust for that. Jamie?
Ryan Blaney in the 12 led 15 laps so far today. Got a touch tighter in the center there, and the front end started to chatter, but the car's been good. They were debating 2 or 4. It's a 4-tire stop, Matt.
And you're going to look to see right side tires in the 14 of Clint Boyer, his teammate, Kevin Harvick. He wanted the same call from the pit box. Harvick, though, would have preferred 4. He'll lead him off pit road.
A couple of 2-tire stops made it difficult for some of the drivers coming in deep in the field on the lead lap. We'll recap pit stops and set you up for the restart right after this. 31 laps to go in stage 2. Let's see how the Coca-Cola family of drivers are faring. Denny Hamlin used a 2-tire change to work his way into the top 10. Joey Logano 13th, Ryan Newman 18th. Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace all on the lead lap. Daniel Suarez 1 lap down after his spin, and Kyle Larson currently 1 lap down as well. Suarez trying to get a little heat in those tires.
Yeah, that's what the crew chief or the spotter will say, clean them up. That's what they mean when they say clean them up. Spin those tires, get that debris off of them.
The big 3 trying to become the finale 4. Harvick in 2nd, Kyle Busch in 5th, Martin Truex in 9th. As we get ready to restart with Harvick and Paul Menard on the front row. Menard did not stop during this caution.
I think it just becomes obvious to me the 4-car thinks the weather might be a factor, and he's picked up the pace. Took the lead earlier, and now he's back out front again.
They did a great job. He had a great experience with Casey Kane to know what the grip level was on that bottom lane to be able to get by the 21 Menard there like he did with Casey Kane.
Boy, Kurt Busch from the inside ends up 4th. Big advantage there to starting outside.
Yeah, Mike, you get pinned down and bogged down is really what happens, and you just can't get a nice smooth run up off the corner.
Well, these corners are so fast. You want to put as little wheel input and turn those front tires as little as possible so it doesn't upset the back of the car, but so hard to do when you got to go to the bottom of the racetrack.
Busch brothers 4th and 5th behind Harvick, Menard, and Boyer. 7th place. Couple of young guns. Last year's Rookie of the Year, Eric Jones in the 20. One of this year's rookie hopefuls, William Byron.
Remember that Jones starting the back, and Ness found himself up in the top 7 right here with a nice run going.
And had an issue on pit road, lost some track position that way, so he's doing an excellent job to get himself in that position he's in now.
He also overcame a speeding penalty on the first pit stop.
Right, that's the incident that he had on pit road.
Guys, he's the first one on 4 fresh tires. Eric Jones in that 20.
Boy, that'll make a difference. Thanks, Larry.
Still see sparks flying off the left front of the 9 car. Casey Elliott there, or Chase Elliott, I'm sorry.
Yeah, give him some credit too. Remember, he had that flat left rear tire coming to the restart not too long ago.
He's 13th right now, so in pretty good shape.
Sure those sparks are from the car?
Something's sparking.
There you go. Fox Sports and the teams on pit road all have predictive weather apps. And the consensus right now is that we're about 50 minutes away from the wet stuff, although a lot of these cloudbursts seem to be breaking up and dissipating before they get to the racetrack. So
I wonder why.
Regan.
Well, we see Eric Almirola just on the screen a minute ago there. He is still struggling to fight his way back after that early mishap on pit road. He slid through his box and didn't have his brake lever adjustments quite where he wanted them. That's exactly what Johnny Klossmeyer's crew chief has been worried about. He said we lose spots on pit road, which puts us in a hole on the racetrack. It makes it very difficult to adjust on this race car. He's trying to fight his way back forward.
Currently 17th, 6.5 seconds off the lead, right behind Alex Bowman. Martin Truex restarted 10th. He has dropped back to 15th, 6 seconds off the lead, Matt.
Mike, a year ago he led 62 laps. Today his car's been all over the balance scale. He was talking about how it's just the entire right side feels like it's just rolling over and bouncing on the restart. He said we are awful. They made an air pressure change on the last stop.
Thanks, Matt. 95 laps complete.
Chase Elliott just gets around Joey Logano there.
Yeah, Joey made a nice move on Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott said, no, I'm not having it. He did the crossover.
Sparks fly on a humid day in Michigan. Kevin Harvick out front of Paul Menard. Laps complete on this, the 50th anniversary of Michigan International Speedway. Ronnie Bucknam won a USAC race to open this track. Cale Yarborough, the first NASCAR winner. They also raced Trans Am here when this track initially opened west of Detroit. Here is third, fourth, and fifth behind Harvick and Boyer. Kurt Busch has moved in front of Paul Menard. Kyle Busch closing. Here's Jamie.
How about Paul Menard holding his own right now in the top 5? He stayed out on that last stop. He last came in on lap 70. I talked to Greg Irwin, his crew chief, this morning, and he said, man, we need to just get that bad luck behind us. We really feel like we have good cars every week, that we race definitely better than we practice, as Kyle Busch takes a peek on the inside. But they feel like they have something, so they're playing that strategy game, but obviously has the speed to stay in the top 5.
Having a great run here today for the Wood brothers. Yesterday, my son and I went out to the Heritage display with all of the vintage race cars on display that had won races here, and a fella comes up. He says, I've been sitting in the same seat here for 50 years. Wow, that's dedication. Eighth place, Brad Keselowski going after Eric Jones.
Quite a battle they got going on here. Jones not going to give up easy.
Keselowski's pretty fast right now. He just got by William Byron. I know William was on 2 tires after the last pit stop, but not Eric Jones. Eric Jones took 4 tires, so nice move by Keselowski. See Denny Hamlin coming, just got by the 24 of William Byron. He's on his way forward also.
Joey Logano and Chase Elliott have a thing going on here. Look at him down to the inside.
See Chase Elliott down there side drafted Joey Logano. Joey Logano's trying to get back up to get a good entry angle into turn 1. Chase just knows if he can hold that outside lane, it's going to make it really difficult for Logano to make the pass.
He also, I don't know if he knows or not, but that's also making Logano kind of unhappy.
16 laps left in stage 2. Eric Jones, second highest Toyota in the race, in 9th place.
We have it as he took 4 tires, so I don't know if that's an earlier radio communication or maybe they only took 2. That.
Okay. No, we're hearing they just took 2 on the last stop.
Well, whatever it is, he doesn't ever want to do it again. I can tell you.
That message loud and clear. We're going to go Fox side by side. 15 to go, stage 2. Welcome back to Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series racing from Michigan. 10 laps to go in stage 2, at which point this will be an official race.
Yay. But, Mike, do you notice anything about those first 3 cars other than they're all Fords?
And they all belong to Stuart Haas.
Boy, they are having a day. But just think about this. They haven't had a car to finish in the top 10 here since 2000. I don't think it was either race in 2017.
What a rebound.
So last year, I mean, and now look at them. They won 1, 2, 3. And really, Almirola would be up there, but he had trouble in the pits.
Yep. And I think you got to give a lot of credit to all the Ford teams, including Penske, because look at our top, what is it, 7. 6 of those are Ford, so obviously they're working very closely together as a group.
It almost seemed to me like, Jeff, they came in there with that Daytona Talladega mentality. We don't care who wins as long as it's got a blue oval on it.
That or they came in here with Edsel Ford saying, we will win.
That too. The Godfather.
Penske teammates, Blaney and Keselowski, 6th and 7th, with Logano in 14th. Also having a very good day here. The highest Toyota, Kyle Busch in 5th. The highest Chevy, Jamie McMurray in 8th.
I want to give credit to McMurray too, because this is a solid track for him. He has a lot of top 10s here, and he really likes this racetrack, and it shows with him being the leading Chevrolet, being an 8th.
4 top 10s in a row for Jamie Mack.
And you know, you don't think about Jamie Mack being aggressive, but this is a track where you got to be aggressive, and he's a very aggressive driver. When he's got a good race car, I mean, he doesn't mind putting it where other people won't.
Jamie?
Yeah, and they didn't have the best weekend as far as qualifying or practice goes. I talked to his crew chief, Matt McCall, this morning, and he just kind of shook his head like, we're not sure if we made it better or not. Yeah, in fact, said he thought they were 2 to 2.5 tenths off the fast guys. But today, with the cooler temperatures, it's really played into their hands and the adjustments they made to this race car.
Well, one thing I do know, I heard Jamie Mack say back in Charlotte when they talked about the Hendrick engine upgrade, he was one of the guys raving about how much better the engines were. We haven't talked about that a lot, but ever since Charlotte, the Chevy guys, the Hendrick guys have all had better engines.
Matt?
Mike, before that last pit stop, Kyle Busch was asked by Adam Stevens, well, what do you need? He goes, well, the car is free on entry and free on exit. Well, what I need is track position. Right now, though, looking ahead to the next stop, he says the car has gone even more to the free side. Look for a small adjustment when he hits pit road.
I've been impressed with how long Menard's been able to hold off the 18 of Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch finally now is going to be able to make that move and go into 4th.
And Mike, they talk about small adjustments, and really and truly, the only thing that moves on these cars these days are the tires. So a half a pound of air, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it changes the spring rate, and it can change how the car handles.
Paul Menard now has lost a couple of spots. There he is still, no, excuse me, he's still in the top 5, but we are told he is saving fuel. Remember, he's not been to pit road since lap 70. Everyone else came in at lap 87. He wants to make sure he makes it these final 5 laps to the stage 2 ending caution.
Now, I'm really anxious to see what's going to happen at the end of this stage.
We got about an 8 to 10 car length gap. He's in traffic on 4 now.
Because once...
Manage the gap, back to the 12. Manage the gap here, 4 to go.
Yeah, they're just trying to make it to the end of this stage so they can get on pit road and get fuel. But these others, they're playing the rain game, which fuel might come into play.
It's funny how this racetrack just in almost year after year comes in, fuel mileage becomes a factor. It's such a big racetrack, 2-mile racetrack. Speeds are so high and fuel mileage is critical.
You know, that 21 car, Paul Menard, he's trying to go 50 laps, but now 6 of those laps have already been cautioned. So I think they should be okay with the fuel window being 44 to 48 laps with the 6 caution laps.
Teammates 9th and 10th. Byron, Michigan's Eric Jones. And Chesterfield, Virginia's Denny Hamlin. Going to get a couple of stage points here.
And both those guys start in the back. Had to work their way up into the position they're in. Wow, getting pretty close here.
And remember, that was 2 tires we heard Eric Jones speak about on the radio. That was 2 tires that they took on that last pit stop. So he's fighting hard just to maintain that top 10.
And right here behind him, Jeff, there's William Byron. He's looking right there to try to get around both those guys too.
Yeah, William was another car that took 2 tires on that last stop.
Pits are closed for the final 2 laps of each stage to prevent somebody from short pitting and then inheriting the lead when everyone else comes to the pit road under caution.
While all that's happening,
Kevin Harvick has 5 runner-up finishes since his only career win so far at this track, August 2010.
He's broken a lot of those strings this year with the success he's had. And remember, Mike, he was going for 4 in a row at California, the sister track, and he got into trouble with he and Kyle Larson. Who knows what he might have won 4 in a row if he hadn't had that trouble there. Very similar racetrack. Car running really well today.
Kyle Larson going for 4 in a row today. Had a spin off turn number 4 and got into the grass at the head end of pit road. Got some damage to his car. He continues but 1 lap down.
This will be his 8th stage win so far this year, Kevin Harvick. So getting it done.
2.7 seconds ahead of teammate Clint Bowyer. Kevin Harvick wins stage 2 from Bowyer and Kurt Busch. It's a 1-2-3 sweep for Stewart Haas. Here we go for 8th, 9th place. Jones and Byron.
Give it to Byron. Nice job.
6 Fords in the top 10, along with 2 Toyotas and 2 Chevrolets. "80 laps complete. We have an official race. Let's go to the Hollywood Hotel for this Coca-Cola race break.
All right, thank you, Michael. And this year, there are more names and more ways to share a Coke this summer. 20-ounce bottles of Coca-Cola flavors that have Share a Coke stickers. For every sticker peeled, fans can unlock a chance to win special experiences throughout the summer via Coca-Cola's Sip and Scan program. So grab a Coke and a smile, and good luck. Quick recap. After more than a 2.5-hour rain delay, some problems on the track. Ryan Blaney wins stage 1, his 4th of the season. Then on lap 66, Martin Truex gets loose.
Way loose in the middle of the pack, and that made other drivers have to take evasive action. Around goes Daniel Suarez. Daniel loses a lap here through this exchange.
He has some contact with Paul Menard. Then lap 86, Kyle Larson loose. He was running 8th at the time, and this is a dramatic spin.
Yes, it is, and he's very fortunate that he didn't tear the nose off that car right there. We saw the jolt from the in-car. Kevin Harvick wins this stage, but it's put Larson in a real hole to try to come back and win.
And Kevin Harvick is the only one of the 6 different leaders who've led today who already has a win this year. Toyota has not led a lap. We have pit stops coming. We have rain coming. May not get to the end of this. What's the thinking?
That's just strategy. Do we get 2 tires here? Do we have to get 4? The rain is coming, but we could get to the full distance. These crew chiefs might have to take a chance here to get some track position.
Let's head down to Mike Joy as pit road is open.
Thanks, Chris. Pace car leads them off turn number 4. Lead lap cars led by Harvick, Bowyer, the Busch brothers, and Menard make the sharp turn to pit road. Regan.
Brad Keselowski's team was caught off guard that many cars took 2 tires on the last pit stop. That put him back in the pack a little further than they wanted to be, but he was the fastest car for at least the last 10 laps that particular run. He needs to be just a little bit tighter right here. Jamie?
Paul Menard's team breathing a sigh of relief. They were so close on fuel he was saving just to get into his box, but Greg Irwin happy. He said, let's pit the heck out of this thing and hold that track position. A 4-tire stop, Matt.
Great opportunity for the SHR pit crews to shine here. Bowyer's already away. He was too tight that run. Harvick said his car needs to turn better, but it was much better that run. Let's see if Kurt Busch's team can get him off pit road. Nope. Great battle, Mike.
It'll be Bowyer winning the race off pit road with 2 tires. Harvick and the Busch brothers. 2-tire change. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, let's dial up our stage winner there. Kevin Harvick, this is Jeff up in the Fox Sports booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations, man. I believe that's your 8th stage win. Kind of making it look easy out there. But with this rain kind of in the area, how do you mentally approach the rest of this race? Are you racing the rain? Are you going to be more aggressive than normal?
I think that these restarts are, really the most important thing. I knew those last couple restarts that we needed to do all we could through 1 and 2 to try to get the lead. So it worked out there, and hopefully we can do that again on 4 tires here through 1 and 2. And everybody on our Jimmy John Sports has been doing a great job. Had a good day on pit road, and just got to keep it rolling. Got to stay up front, keep that track position. It's tough to pass.
All right, good luck the rest of the way. Thank you.
While Clint Boyer was the first off pit road, Casey Kane did not pit. He is our race leader. Casey Kane is now pitted. That makes Clint Boyer our leader. Here's today's Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Well, Mike, I got my eye on the guy going for his 6th win of the season, 43rd of his career, and you guessed it, I got the first pick, Kevin Harvick.
Well, Jeff, I'm going to give a call out to William Byron, that 24 car. He's looking to maybe get his 2nd top 10 finish of the year, by far the best Hendrick Chevrolet driver today.
The guy gives me such a hard time. I don't know what I'm thinking, but I'll take our leader right now, Clint Boyer. He gets his 2nd win this year.
On a day when it's been so tough to pass, Kyle Busch from the back to row 2 outside, watching an awesome, exciting restart from Busch. He wins today.
Pole man, Kurt Busch. They make the right adjustments. He's got speed. Pace car hits pit road. And here comes Harvick, Boyer, the Busch brothers, Blaney, Keselowski, Menard, Byron, Logano, Hamlin. That's your top 10 as we go back to green.
Well, we've seen Harvick do it masterfully every time that he's gone up against somebody on 2 tires, and he's had 4. Let's see if he can do that again, and it's going to be close if he can clear his teammate Boyer. No, he doesn't do it.
I think he wanted to slide up in front of Boyer, but I think Kevin Harvick knows a lot like I do. That 14 car wants to win this race today.
Boy, they're going to battle it out right here.
Boy, that is so hard to do. Side by side, we've seen what happens when you get side by side with another car. The guy on the bottom gets a little loose. Harvick jumps in behind the 14, follows him down into turn 1 at 220 miles an hour.
Three wide just behind with all the Penske cars with the Wood brothers. Almost 4 wide. Wow.
There's McMurray being aggressive. That's what's kept him in the top 10 so far today.
You know what, Mike, I've noticed, I'm pretty sure everybody has the same radar.
Yes.
Because they're all driving like it's about to end.
Busch brothers battle.
Teammates, Busch brothers. I mean, they're all right there on top. They're just fighting it out hard.
Kyle got even with Kurt at the exit of 4. Kurt pulled away. Look at Kurt launch off the corner, just like he hit the afterburner and takes off. So much for that teammate to life thing he was talking about earlier.
No, right now it's, oh brother, where art thou?
Yeah.
Because I'm out of here.
For the lead, Harvick has the inside on Boyer. One more time.
Man, Boyer's not giving this up easy. He knows it's just a matter of time before that weather gets here, and if he can maintain this lead, he's got this win.
Well, those 2 cars have really quite equal. Even though Harvick's been leading by a good bit, Boyer's been back there running 2nd, running about the same light times.
Dun-dun. Battle for the race on the right against Mother Nature, and Ricky Stenhouse in turn 2. Is in the wall.
Boy, not a good day.
No, man.
Roush Fenway Racing.
Whoa! Whoa!
Who was that?
Nothing else coming.
Holy smoly.
Oh, that was DJ Kennington. Whoa. He's had a tough day. He's gotten the free pass twice, and he almost got Stenhouse.
Boy, I tell you what, Stenhouse, has he not had a tough time this year? He's lost 2 or 3 cars in practice and had trouble, you know, spinning out here today. What was he running? 21st, I think. Not running all that bad, but not good result.
I believe that'll be a break for Kyle Larson. He'll get back on the lead lap with this. The 8th caution flag of the day. Been a tough day for Roush Fenway. All right, let's go back to turns 1 and 2 and the 17.
Yeah, we see him back here. Looks like that's Casey Kane behind him. Looks
Gets
like
close to the rear bumper, the 31. Casey just gets in his left rear a little bit.
He was going to turn down. Stenhouse was going to turn down and try to make that pass. Casey Kane was there.
Looked a little like Stenhouse might have had to pedal it for Ryan Newman just in front of him.
And I think that's what Kane saw, was he saw where the 31 was backing up a little bit, started to go low, and so did Stenhouse.
Yeah, that's not Ricky's fault.
That's just racing.
That's a racing
that
deal
was just
there.
pure racing.
But boy, was this close. When he comes down the racetrack, yikes.
Kyle Larson's view.
Stay low, keep coming. No problem, again, yellow's up, half back inside 37.
And now you'll see DJ Kennington make a quick move. I guess that wasn't as close as we first thought.
No, it was close.
I'm impressed with that move he made, that it stuck.
They're running about 180 off that corner, and you got to make an evasive action like that. That's close.
Wow. 70 laps to go in Michigan. Can Clint Boyer hold off Kevin Harvick and the Busch brothers? We'll see. Under caution with 69 to go. Perhaps gentleman farmer Clint Boyer is hoping for a little help from Mother Nature. Kevin Harvick in second, Kurt Busch third, 3 Fords in front with Kyle Busch's Toyota fourth. Chase Elliott, the first Chevrolet, in ninth. Cleaning up under caution, and Kyle Larson is back on the lead lap with the free pass. Whoever is the goddess of agriculture and rain in the springtime heard Clint Boyer's prayer. We are under caution now for rain with 67 laps to go in this 400-miler in Michigan. The pace car has halted the leaders at the end of pit road. And the rest of the field will catch up around when they come back. And we'll revise our scoring. Boyer, Harvick, and Kurt Busch are poised to score a 1-2-3 for Stuart Haas, with Kyle Busch the first Toyota and Chase Elliott the leading Chevrolet in the race.
Yeah, crew chief Mike Begoravage there. Nice call on their part.
Yeah,
good
great call. We all questioned whether they should stay out that long on those left side tires, but if this is it, that's going to give them the win.
And not to be overlooked here, Larry, is Paul Menard and his team and the gamble they made before the halfway point in the race that got them here.
Yeah, when they pitted on that at the end of stage one and then came back to pit road on the next caution and then topped off with 1 to go, that got Paul the lead and it kept him inside the top 5. So great call by Michael Begoravage for Clint Boyer, but great call by Greg Irvin for Paul Menard.
So where we are right this moment, there was a bit of a mix-up in whether the cars should stay on track or come down pit road. Kyle Busch is the first car in that second pack, and he's been instructed to stop short of the start-finish line so that he does not trigger another lap in the official scoring. The cars behind the pace car will now be led around past the start-finish line, and we'd have everybody on the same page. Red flag is displayed, so no work on the cars. So a little bit of confusion as to whether they should be on track or down pit road.
And what we were told was that the pace car was supposed to stay out on the track, and they told the drivers to stay out on the track, and some of them listened and some of them followed the pace car, which is
what you usually would do.
Yeah, in all my years, I follow the pace car.
Yeah.
Wherever he went, that's where I go.
We'll sort this out in a minute.
Well, we know Kyle Busch doesn't always follow the instructions or the pace car.
Pace car doesn't know what he's doing. I guess that's a fact.
So a little confusion to sort out here to make sure that these cars up front are properly scored. And it looks like a couple of drivers climbing out.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this.
Well, we're under the red flag, which they are permitted to do since we're under red.
I think now that's red, they'll figure out all the scoring, and more than likely this will be the end of it.
Well, yeah, I agree with that.
Well, you have a couple ways to look at it. One is that it took a long time to get this race started, get the track dry, and get it going. And they've called it. Clint Boyer and Mother Nature win Michigan.
Yeah, baby. Mike Bugger Ravage, he's excited. That's their second win this year, guys.
Matt Yoakum's in the winner's pit.
And Mike Bugger-Ravage, great car, but impressive call strategy-wise. Did you ever waver, seeing how the weather was coming in, going 2 versus 4?
Oh, man, that was a tough one there. And when we were the only one to take 2, I was a little bit worried that, you know, maybe I was seeing something that other people weren't, and maybe we were going to go green for a while. And I was a little bit nervous being on 2 going green that long. But Clint did an awesome job getting that restart, and fortunately enough, this mist rolled in and helped us out.
Congratulations, Martinsville. Now Michigan in the win column.
Rodney Childers down there, Harvick's crew chief. I saw Harvick and Boyer, big hug. Nice team win.
Team dominance for Ford, and especially for Stewart-Haas. Let's go back to the last restart and show you just how hard Clint Boyer fought to hold that lead.
Well, Mike Bugger-Ravage may have made that call to get 2 tires, but to me, Clint Boyer did an awesome job holding off his teammate Kevin Harvick on this restart, and it all happened right here in 1 and 2. Harvick starts to take the lead, but look at Boyer fight back and get to that quarter panel. I mean, right there, Harvick may have been able to push the issue.
Yeah, he could have come up, but it is his teammate.
But it's not over yet. Hey, watch the 4 of Kevin Harvick. He fights back.
Watch his 14. He gasses that thing up and shoots right back up alongside the 4 car.
He even loosens up Kevin Harvick a little bit. Now that's some aggressive driving.
Absolutely. And the spotters on the roof above us, their view of turn 2 is no better than ours. Between the cloud and the mist over there, that would have been a tough call to clear Kevin Harvick up the racetrack.
Certainly aggressive on Boyer's part, but also very respectful on Kevin Harvick's part. I'm not sure if that hadn't been his teammate, the results may have been a little different.
Well, Clint Boyer taking home the checkered flag is today's Sunoco fueling victory. Boyer rolls out to salute the fans. Here's Regan.
Kevin Harvick, a heck of a battle at the end there. How close did you know the rain was, and what was that like?
I didn't really know how close or far it was. They just told me it was in the area. So just got to thank everybody on Jimmy John's Bush Beer Ford for giving me a great car. Those guys made a gutsy call there, and Clint, you know, had a good restart. I hadn't restarted against a car that was as good as his, and just a foot from clearing him there. But he was holding on to it at the end. I'm proud of those guys, proud of everybody at Stewart-Haas Racing. And if you're going to lose one in the rain and give it away, you might want to give it to your teammate. So I like that.
What a fun battle to watch. Jamie?
And Kyle Busch brings it home 4th today. And those Stewart-Haas cars, they were tough today. Where were they a little bit better than you, Kyle?
No, the blue ovals were tough today. It wasn't anything about SHR. They go down a straightaway really, really fast. We have a hard time keeping up with them there. But our car through the corner was really awesome. The M&M's Camry was really, really good there after yesterday's practice. I thought we had something for him, and if it was going to be a little bit hotter and sunnier today, I felt like we were going to be really good, but that just wasn't the conditions for today. So chilly and cool and lots of grip, and that was better for all those guys. But we gave it a hard-fought fight and come home with what we could there, you know, a 4th, not too shabby. I thought we had 3rd, and then Kurt just blew my doors off on a straightaway, and you know, we just got to get better there. Try to make it up and be able to put on a fight here later on this year.
Thanks, Kyle.
7 Fords in the top 8, 3 from Stewart-Haas, all 3 Team Penske Fords, and the Wood brothers, Clint Boyer. He's your winner in Michigan, where we'll have more after this.
39-year-old Clint Boyer, one of the more entertaining characters in NASCAR, with a thumbs-up victory. Rain had an effect, but he outlasted his teammate. First time ever that Stewart-Haas finishes 1, 2, 3. It's Ford Country in Michigan, and let's go there for the victory celebration.
3rd time in his career he's had consecutive wins in a season. You're first here at MIS. What a gutsy call by Bugga. Do you believe it?
We won! Woo-hoo! No kid, when he said 2 tires, I was like, oh man, I don't know. Especially when I looked in the mirror and everybody took 4. You know, when you come out that far ahead of everybody else, you know you're on a mission for a gamble. Man, I tell you, the last time we won with Haas Automation, that VF1 was on the hood of this thing, this Ford Fusion. They're just so fast. 1, 2, 3 for Stuart Haas Racing. All these guys, that gutsy call, unbelievable. Mobile 1, Tony, we won again. How about that 14? Gene Haas, thank you for this opportunity. IT Savvy's on here. Rusty's called me all day long down in Texas. Rush Truck Centers, thank you guys. How about it? Woohoo!
Gutsy call by Bugga, but what an impressive restart by you against your teammate Kevin Harvick.
Well, and you're at a deficit to Kevin Harvick. Being at, at the same tires on a restart with Kevin Harvick, you know what you're up against, but he was so much faster than me in 1 and 2. I got down in 3 and 4, and I had to chop him off, take his line away from him. He got loose a couple times. I'm like, man, it better rain quick, because one more lap, he's going to get me. 1, 2, 3 finish for everybody, all this army behind, all 4 of us. Eric's been solid. He had trouble on pit road that first time. It would have been 1, 2, 3, 4. Very, very proud of everybody's effort today. Unbelievable.
Congratulations. Second time in 4 years, SHR has won a rain-shortened race at Michigan.
Clint Boyer's the weather driver because he won, remember, the snow-delayed Martinsville race back in March. That snapped a 190-race winless streak. Now he has 2 wins. Hey, that's the same as Martin Truex. Is he the 4th piece to that championship? Ford, been talking about the big 3 all day.
He drove a perfect end to this race. He was in a bind with those 2 tires, but he just stood up on the wheel. Heck, that made me want to be a race car driver again. Chris, you see how happy that man was going to victory lane and being able to celebrate with your team? And we talked about strategy early, how important it would be. Mike Bugga took that chance, and it paid off.
His crew chief, Mike Bugger-Ravitch, and Stuart Haas in victory lane, continuing the domination for Ford. Tonight on Fox, you see the programming. Thanks for hanging with us all afternoon. The drivers, the fans, those of you watching with the weather delays, and what turned out to be a great day for Clint Boyer. A week off for Father's Day. Have a good one to all the dads. And then on FS1, we'll wrap up our Fox FS1 coverage of NASCAR broadcast from Sonoma in the wine country 2 weeks from today. For our entire crew, thanks for being a part of NASCAR on Fox.